I gotta get it, I gotta get it. You hating cause I saw no risk. I bet you wanna be famous, They act like they made us, You know I'm icy in Vegas, This for the haters, I make a lot of new money,
Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll get a chance to see Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings as they take on the 11-year man Matthew Stafford and the Detroit Lions. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. Both teams emerging from the Ford Field tunnels just a short time ago. And, of course, the loudest cheers were reserved for the hometown Lions. They're set to go as they will match up with the Minnesota Vikings. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And, Charles, we look at this Lions team entering play. And they've lost 3 straight here, and it goes without saying, I guess, they could certainly use a win.
And how do they get a win? Because they've lost 3 straight, I think it's paramount that they get a fast, clean start to this game.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Vikings, they come off a disappointment last time out that put an end to their modest 3-game win streak. Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season, Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. The Vikings heading out, and it's Kirk Cousins at the helm in his second season in purple and white, 8th year overall. 30 touchdown passes for him a season ago. That's a career high as he aims to get the Vikings back into the postseason. Now here's the first carry for Amir Abdullah. He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play at 2nd down. So here's the lineup, and in the backfield, it's Abdullah.
Amir Abdullah, if it had been up to a lot of college coaches, would be an all-pro corner. But he knew he wanted to be a running back, and has proven why. Can run it, can catch it, and return kicks.
A 2nd down run for Abdullah. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. On the defensive side of the ball, here are the starters for Detroit. They're going to need to be strong against the run in this one.
And the mantra of this unit, get to the football. Fly to the ball carrier. And you know how you can tell that they do it really well? At the end of each play, when you click off the frame, count the number of guys that are around the ball carrier. It's always 7, 8, 9 guys. They get to them each and every play.
Now Cousins. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. So here are the Lions under second-year coach Matt Patricia. They'll be led out by a man who's now in his 11th season in the league, Matthew Stafford, at 31 years of age.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
1 touchdown, 1 pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on a few other parts of the offense, and hopefully springs a receiver or 2 free.
Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete. He was looking for his big tight end there, Jesse James. But it'll be 2nd down. And we look now at the Lions offense.
Tight end Jesse James has made the move from Pittsburgh, where he spent his first 4 NFL seasons. Now he's going to reside in Detroit. A big target is 6'7", a terrific run blocker, has a great chance to beat his career high in receptions of 43 in 2017 in the Lions' pass-first offense.
Call it a gain of 4, and it'll leave them with a 3rd down and 6 to go. Well, look now at our starting defense. They come into this one rounding out the top 10 in the 10 spot against the run.
This is a unit that understands what needs to be done to stop the run. And they're a team that goes out and executes as well. Yeah, it's the mantra, stop it, but then going out and getting it done. 2 different things. They combine them.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Everson Griffin, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. This is fielded at the 27. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Throwing is Cousins. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
It's a gain of 6, and it's 3rd down.
Cousins from the gun on 3rd. He gets this into the hands of Taylor. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
Obviously, they didn't get everything they wanted on that completion, but they put themselves in a spot where you've got to at least think about going for it. I know where we are on the field, but still, you've got to think about it, don't you?
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And on the first drive, 3 and out. I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically, what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
And he got half of what he needed there, 2 yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more. They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And it would appear he's going to be short of a 1st down as he's stopped right around the 29. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
Here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end. And they've got it well across midfield, down to the 40 before it's all said and done. 22 yards on the catch and run, a 1st down. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Now Cousins. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. That 1st down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Cousins again. And this one hauled in by Rudolph. And it's going to be another 1st down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 14. First red zone chance now for the Vikings. It's 1st and 10 at the 14. Abdullah. And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11. Now Cousins here on the bootleg. Complete. Smith has it. And here he'll get it down to the 7. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. Third and short yardage. Cousins. And this one to Treadwell, complete. A good rally to the football holds him to 2, and that brings up a fourth down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. Third down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
So 3 drives now for this offense, and that field goal gives them their first 3 points.
So if you're an offensive coordinator and you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work, aren't you? You got to find a way to unlock the key to these defenses and put some big points on the board.
Come on, fellas.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. This is their 3rd drive right now. Maybe not about points, just about getting something. They haven't gotten a first down yet in this game.
It's a mental barrier you don't think about until you go a couple of drives without getting a first down. Then all of a sudden it looms big. It gets harder and harder to actually attain that first down. It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
Check. Watch 54. Watch 54. They can't hang with us.
Now to Galladay on the jet sweep. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll force upon him a 3rd and 14.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
And what did we talk with them about prior to the game? Their ability to move the chains, pick up first downs. So far, 0 for 3 on 3rd down. If that continues, they'll have little chance of winning this one.
And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin them back. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at the 20. And they begin the drive with Abdullah. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. Up at the 29 now, they'll head to the line. 2nd and a yard. Here's Cousins. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, but they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down. They tried to throw on 2nd down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. They run with Abdullah. He'll have a first down past the 40. And he's going to get this to the 40-yard line.
Here we go.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up first downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
A loss of a yard. Brings up 2nd and 11 at the 39-yard line.
Play fake. Cousins. And he's taken to the ground, but he was pulled down by the face mask. Here come the flags. And I believe this is going to be a first down. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. Off the play fake, Cousins. Under pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this first quarter. Devon Kennard in there for the sack on what will be the final play of this first quarter. The Vikings with the football here to begin the second quarter as they've got it with a 3rd down and long coming up. So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. Cousins. Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And this drive will start on the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. He let one slip away last week as well, so now 2 fumbles lost in as many weeks.
Well, we were out at practice, and we watched him work. And what did his quarterback coach talk about all week?
Being a 2-hand monster.
And we looked at each other. 2-hand. Oh, I get it. 2-hand monster. Both hands on the football. Taking care of it. Putting it away so the ball doesn't get dropped.
The Lions into the red zone for the first time. 1st and 10 right at the 20. The pass complete. This one to Danny Amendola. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Now the Notre Dame man. This is Theo Riddick. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6.
A gain of 6. The tackle made at the 6-yard line. First and goal at the 6-yard line.
They'll try and run. This is Johnson. And he's brought down right at the 5-yard line. Give him 2 on the play. And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Now Stafford. And the pressure will get to him. He goes down. Now there is a flag on the play, but this looks like holding on the offense. So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No.
No, not at all.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield, but when push came to shove, they stood their ground, and now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
So on 4th down, the Lions turn it over to Matt Prater for the field goal try. And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through, and that will tie us at 3-3. They had it 1st and goal, 3 attempts, couldn't get it in, so they settle for 3.
Yeah, the field tends to shrink a little bit the closer you get to the goal line, doesn't it? It doesn't sound right. It sounds a little counterintuitive. But you run out of space to run the deep routes, so they can just sit on the shorter stuff if you're going to throw it. If you want to run it, there's just not as much space. They end up having to take 3 there.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punch in the end zone without turning it over.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Trey Flowers in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. On 3rd down, Cousins. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Trey Flowers racking up sack number 12 for him on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Matt Weil now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And it's fielded at the 34. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the Lions will take over. And Detroit getting set to go now. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super tough.
It's a gain of 14 and a first down for Detroit. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Stafford with a give. This is Riddick. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. This drive starts with 2 steps forward and now 1 back. A pair of first downs, and here a loss of yardage. On 2nd and 12, Stafford. He'll get this one to Galladay. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down. Stafford on 3rd down. And that's knocked away and incomplete.
Intended for Kenny Galladay. Incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
Prater's kick is good. And they will take the lead here in this battle of field goals. It's 6-3. So we're trading first-half field goals. No breakthrough on the touchdown front. Got a 6-3 game.
Yeah, and I know so many people look at a game through offensive eyes, right? They want to see how the game's played that way. You know how I'm going to view it, right? The defenses, to me, have responded well in this game. Like what I'm seeing from them, both of them hoping to keep it to field goals and not give up big touchdowns.
And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. And now we move our focus to Stephon Diggs. With them losing here in the 2nd quarter and his limited productivity so far, you'd have to think they're going to try to look to him a little bit more, right?
I would guess you would start to see maybe some quick screens, some hitches, anything to get the ball in his hands quickly and let him try and do some damage after the catch. Or maybe just flip some formations and keep him isolated where it's more of a one-on-one route and get the ball to him.
I say just 4 verts, right?
Hey, why not? 4 verts, one of the best routes in football. Hard to cover each guy all the way along the route.
So far, just 1 catch for him. So they will accept the penalty and move forward. So now a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 after roughing the passer. Cousins now. It's caught. Smith. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
A lane opens up that time as he'll be brought down just short of a first after a gain of about 9. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. From the 22, Cousins, and that is incomplete. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. They'll run here. Abdullah. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. They end up getting stuffed twice after that 9-yard gain back on 1st down.
I apologize in advance, partner, but the beefeaters on the interior of this D-line, you just know they were licking their chops on 3rd and short. And yes, they were rewarded with a tasty dish, stuffing that one short of a first down.
Well, we got beefeaters licking their chops and tasty dish in one fell swoop.
I did apologize in advance, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. That line's not eating tofu, I'll tell you that much for free. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
So back even at 6 apiece as the kick's away. This is taken at his 4. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them want to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
On 2nd and 10, Stafford. Only a yard there. Sniffed out well defensively, and it brings up 3rd. The Lions on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
Intended for Marvin Jones. Incomplete.
You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down.
We play to win. Let's go.
Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They start the drive with Abdullah. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be
nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Starting to wonder if this offensive line just simply doesn't like him. I mean, they've given up 6 sacks in this game. He's had nowhere to go, nowhere to run, and obviously nowhere to hide.
And all those sacks in the first half, this is just complete domination. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. Here's Abdullah. And nothing doing here as this time the run maybe gets him back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. 3rd and long for Cousins. Well, the two men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up 4th down. Had to pass there, 3rd and long on your own side of the field. Just couldn't come up with anything.
That's why teams always talk about having to win the early downs, meaning you've got to gain yardage and set yourself up for 3rd and short, because when it's 3rd and long, the odds go down.
Now a hit and a loose football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And a terrific return as he takes this thing all the way down near the 20-yard line.
And that's what friends are for.
As the returner, you know who you're buying dinner for later.
Oh, without a doubt, because he just took care of you and your team in a big way. You know, you turned it over there. That's a big momentum changer and put your defense in a bad spot.
So they need to determine if that knee was down before the ball was coughed up.
And they also wanted to make sure that the ball was possessed as they were going through, that the ball wasn't working its way free before the knee hit the ground.
Fumble on the play. Recovered by the defense.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
On 2nd and 9. Stafford dumping it off for Johnson. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. Second down pass play got him 8 yards. Now they've got a 3rd and a couple remaining. It's caught. Jones. Now Jones is hit. He lost the football. And this belongs to the Vikings. Well, he did what he's known for. He made the catch, then he turned into a runner, took the contact, and coughed it up.
And all I remember as a player When they catch the ball, when those acrobatic guys catch it, you have to make them pay sometimes. You have to put it on them, big tackle, knock the ball free, anything you can do to slow them down.
And now out comes Minnesota. And they're the recipient of a nice gift here late in the half with a real chance to put points on the board.
And it's been a difficult half for them in terms of putting points on the board. So here with this gift, with this opportunity, they've got to find a way to cash it in.
And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. 12 yards there. First down, Vikings.
First down, Vikings.
Well, they obviously red man coverage their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender. Made him
what do you mean by that, bro?
Yeah, he made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield. Then he curls back inside for the completion.
The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Cousins now to throw on first down. He completes it to Abdullah. And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. A third field goal of the first half, not what they're looking for as they come up on third down. They'll throw again. Cousins. It's complete. Abdullah. They'll get a couple yards on that one, and that's going to bring up a fourth down.
Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. Bailey's kick is good, and they take the lead here as it's now 9-6. So that one is his third of the game. Now, if you're wondering, that's only halfway to his career high as he once had 6 field goals.
Brandon, 6? Let's hope we don't get that again, please. Okay, can we see a few touchdowns here and there?
That'd be nice.
We got this. The Lions take over first and 10.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Down 3 under a minute to go. How aggressive are you going to be in this spot?
Not as aggressive as I probably would want to be. Only down 3. I mean, it might as well be even going into the half. That's not a deficit that makes me want to push it and potentially make a mistake in this situation and cost myself even more points.
But, boy, getting into field goal range and tying it, that's tempting.
Awfully enticing. You almost talked me into it.
Now Riddick. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. A lot to get to here as some of the division races starting to take shape as we look around the NFL here in week number 7.
The second half upon us sooner than we bargained for. Week 7, second half. Let's do it. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. Pretty good running there, 9 yards. Sets up a 3rd and 1.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. Continues to be a struggle for this offense and this home crowd. They're growing a little restless here in the second half.
And I think they've just got to look at how they're trying to move the football. Yeah, you want to run it, but maybe you spread it out, maybe some swing passes that can take the place of runs and give you a little more space.
Now, if you're a fan of punting, this game's for you. He's been out there quite a bit. That one maybe his best yet.
Yeah, he certainly got his leg loose by now. It kind of reminds me of my college football coach, John Majors. he loved the punting game because he liked the positioning, the field position, and he loved to play defense.
13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down. Now they have a little more space to maneuver from the 15, 1st and 10. Throwing, Cousins, and Diggs has it. And this will be a pickup of 4 here, up to their own 20. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
At the 20-yard line.
To throw is Cousins. He completes it to Treadwell. And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3.
A 3-yard gain on the play.
Cousins on 3rd and 2. And that's caught by Smith. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line.
A gain of 7.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Running from the gun, it's Abdullah. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. Credited with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
1-yard gain brings up 2nd and 9.
Again, it's Abdullah. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. Cousins from the gun on 3rd. Open man is Taylor. He's got it. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Another good completion on the drive as the Vikings have a first down. Cousins going to come up on a 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. On the run, Abdullah. Room here to run. The 20. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. It's a big one there for the Vikings. 44 yards on the ground.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense is getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit them, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Now Cousins. This is caught. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Irv Smith Jr. with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. A good, sustained drive there in this 3rd quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
Bailey got the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. That time, a 9-play drive, and it all culminates in a touchdown for Minnesota. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
And here's another tackle made at the line. So they're converging well on the football now. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. From the gun on 3rd down, Stafford. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
Stafford now 9 of 17 through the air. Not a great percentage, but it is 1st and 10. Back to throw, Stafford. And that'll be intercepted by the Pro Bowl safety Harrison Smith. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line.
Defense.
This home crowd, they're happy with that call.
I like the way you said happy there, right? The so-called good guys didn't get a call. They feel like it's been that way all afternoon. You feeling their pain?
They finally got one.
Yes, they did.
That'll be a pickup of 10 as they try to recover from this 10-point deficit.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is a receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
Now on the heels of that run by Johnson, here's another 1st and 10. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. They get just 2 out of it there, and it's 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 8 at the 14-yard line.
On 2nd down, it's Johnson. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Only a gain of a couple there. That leaves him needing about 7 here on 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd and 7.
Faking the give to Johnson. Now it's Stafford. Looks to throw, fires right side. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. And Prater's kick is on the money. It's good. And this is back down to a 7-point game. So it's a 3rd field goal for him now. He's accounted for all 9 points. I look down to the sideline, though. You can just tell they weren't too happy for 3. They wanted 6.
So they have to have 6. Look, he's keeping them afloat, but they really need to do exactly what you talked about. They need to get into the end zone and score some touchdowns. Otherwise, he's going to have to kick a lot more field goals than just the 3 he's already put through the posts.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Kirk Cousins now gearing up to lead this offense back out there. How do you break down his game so far? Just the 1 touchdown pass, but sometimes the touchdown pass stat category, that doesn't tell the whole story.
It really doesn't, not until you balance it with the error side, and in this case, he hasn't thrown any interceptions. So a lot of people would call this almost a pedestrian game, kind of a bus driver game, but that's just really wrong. Being a bus driver is a good thing if you're running a football team, because that means you're in control and you're taking your team to the right places.
Yeah, he's been pretty solid. Here's Madison running on 1st down, and he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 12 at the 34-yard line.
They'll try to throw now. Cousins. It's caught by Treadwell. They get 14 there. 1st down, Vikings.
A gain of 14. 1st down, Vikings.
They'll run with Madison. And he's going to get it across the midfield stripe into Lion territory. A'Shawn Robinson there on the stop. To throw on 2nd and 6. Cousins. And he rifles one incomplete. So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Throwing is Cousins. This is a screen to Abdullah. Good contain, no gain on the screen, and it'll bring up 4th down.
They dialed up the blitz on 3rd down, and your worry as a defense that they can hit you with a big play in that situation. Instead, the blitz pays off, able to rally to the football and make the play.
Yeah, that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. And Detroit getting set to go now. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Back now at Ford Field. It's the Lions trailing, but with possession of the football as we get set to bring you the 4th quarter. If you're thinking of a comeback here, you go to 2016. That's when Stafford had an NFL record 8 fourth-quarter comebacks, but nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Stephen Weatherly. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop him.
Well, the beauty of screen passes is they take a little time to develop, and they can often hit big, but sometimes they take too long to develop, and sometimes you get sacked.
Yeah, what's perfectly called for a defense to attack a screen?
typically a blitz. And even though people think that the screen operates against the blitz, if you have the blitz called and you still cover the screen, now that allows your blitz.
In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. The sack by big number 98, Linval Joseph.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sack.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
So a change of possession here on the punt.
Here we go. At their own 37.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play. And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline. You need to give the ball away here in the 4th quarter while you're just holding a slim lead. But that punt, absolutely ideal. They pin them inside the 5-yard line. They give their defense a really nice opportunity.
Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball to their territory.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Kenny Galladay, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Stafford, and they're going to sack him again. The 5th time they've gotten him today, and this one results in a safety. So that a double whammy. Not only do you have to give away the football, but the 2 points, that means this is now a 2-score game.
Yeah, and that's tough to deal with, isn't it? This little time left. Those 2 points doesn't seem like a lot, but it means everything now. Those are going to be the ones we're going to look back on. Those 2 points right there, the play of the game.
And remember, following the safety, you give the football up as well, and they free kick it from the 20 now.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
So that one will be accepted. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 right at the 30. From the gun, here's Cousins. And this one hauled in by Rudolph. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Cousins to throw it. And he whips that one incomplete there. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. They try the right side with Abdullah. And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the 1st. 7 yards there. Good enough to move the sticks.
1st down, Minnesota.
They go back to Abdullah on 1st. And he works his way forward for about 4 up to the midfield stripe. So it looks like somebody may have forgotten the snap count, and a 5-yard penalty ensues. And that'll set them back 5. And that false start penalty is certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. Working out of the gun, Cousins. He goes underneath to Abdullah. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While he gets attended to, we'll step aside. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down.
Now, he's been a busy man out of the backfield. They've looked his way quite a bit so far in this game.
Nice job there defensively, though, adjusting, because a couple of his earlier catches, he was wide open. Not that time.
You mentioned the key word, adjustment. A better cover man on him now in space.
Back onto the field comes the offense. Let's take a closer look at Kerryon Johnson. And there are the numbers. Got off to that torrid hot start. We thought he was in for maybe a career day. Not the case.
No doubt about it. It almost looks like a misprint after what we saw in the first half. But let's give a little bit of credit to the guys on our side of the ball. They went in at halftime, made a few adjustments, and you know what else? They didn't lose their confidence in their ability to play. Because a lot of times you get beat down in the first half, it gets ugly in the second half. They've come out with a new resolve and a renewed determination.
The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. A 2nd down completion got him 7. Now here's 3rd and 3. From the gun, here's Stafford. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. 51 yards on the punt there. And out now come the Vikings. Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes the better punter may actually determine the outcome.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. On the delay, this is Abdullah. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a 3rd down. They'll try to get it on the ground with Madison. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough. On 1st down, Abdullah. He'll have a 1st down past the 40 as he'll get this one up to the 44-yard line. He'll get 15 and a Vikings 1st down. This is Abdullah. And he'll only get a yard, maybe 2, up to the 46. If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up 2nd down. Draw play, Madison. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. And the Lions going with an extra DB here on 3rd down.
Check, check. Lucky.
Cousins now. And this one to Treadwell, complete. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time. Brandon, you're never quite sure what the side judge or the field judge is going to rule there. That was awfully close, but in the end, he says it passed over the 1-yard line, and that's where they're going to mark it out. I mean, you can see it right there, right? See him walking up the sideline? Told him to stop right there at the 1.
Had a bit of a lane there, took advantage of it. Give him 7 there on the 1st down carry. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Throwing on 2nd and 3. Stafford. James has got it. Complete. And able to get it across the 20 before they get to him. 15 yards for the Lions there on a 1st down. Now they can breathe a little easier, some room to operate as they've got it 1st and 10 now out past the 20. Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete. Under 4 to go now as they come up on 2nd down. to throw again. Stafford. Amendola's got it. Complete. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. Second down pass play got them 8 yards. Now they've got a third and a couple remaining. Here's Johnson. He's been busy this afternoon. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving. So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33.
First and 10 at the 33-yard line.
Out of the gun, Stafford. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down. Second and 10 from the 33-yard line. Now Stafford. This is Riddick on the screen. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for third down. Play number 7 coming on this drive. It's 3rd and inches. Stafford. And that is incomplete.
Stafford's pass. Incomplete.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out.
Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that. And thus far, they've been successful.
Let's go, let's go.
Stafford. And they're going to get him. He's taken down for a sack back at the 47-yard line. Oh, and after the sack, he's still down on the field. We'll check on his status when we get back. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. And here comes throw number 1 for the backup QB. And his first throw since coming in is incomplete. Kenny Golladay is intended receiver. Third down here.
Sets up a 3rd down and 18.
Throwing his fails. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And that is incomplete.
Get ready.
So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
Now a play fake here on first down. It's caught. Smith. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on second down. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts, as they'll get it with just over 90 seconds to go in the ball game. On second down, this is Madison. And he's going to get this inside the 30. And the Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They'll run again. This time it's Abdullah. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Brings up 2nd and 4 at the 21-yard line.
Victory formation time for the Vikings as they'll take a knee here. For the Lions, an extra DB in the game now here on 3rd down. Cousins just going to take this one down to a knee and end it. So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory, and they were spurred on by a strong performance in that 4th quarter as they held their opponents off the scoreboard.
Everyone wants to pitch a shutout for the entire game, but when you throw one in the 4th quarter, that tells everyone that you're getting stronger and dominance is starting to take over, right? The way that you close, the way that you finish, that gets preached to you from the time you're playing Little League football all the way up through. And they closed them out with a big-time performance down the stretch.
So for Minnesota, the win moves them up to 5-2 now on the year. And they will head back home next week.